All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. We are seeing Bitcoin have another rejection from our anchored VWAP. We are seeing a fake out of our descending channel, and we are going to cover Bitcoin locally today, and we'll cover the higher timeframes as well. Still expecting a potential corrective move over the next couple of weeks before seeing some dumpage to the downside. But welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Sad2725. Yo, what is up to you? Dad87. Took some scalps today on range trading. Awesome, man. Well, I hope those scalps were profitable. I took a scalp. I actually ended up taking a scalp on Ethereum because I like the setup a little bit better. But I took the scalp on the rejection of the value area low. Actually, looking at this range right here, that value area low, took a rejection scalp there. And I did take some profit of the SFP into the golden pocket. Haven't gone long yet, though. But yeah, welcome in, guys. Crypto Wanderer 1, welcome in. Thank you. Please smash the like button on your way in, guys. If you do get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, or if you just like hanging out, you like the TA, please hit the like button for me. Glasshopper77, what's up, fam? Good to see you here as well. Little Rich69, thank you for being here. R-Pink, as always, man. LFG, let's go. Thank you for modding for me. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for modding. Appreciate you so much. Jose Fitzner. Yeah, welcome in. And I'm sorry if I butchered that, but what's up, man? Welcome in. Full Port 69. What's up, dude? Good evening to you as well. Thank Bobnar. What's up, my man? Good to see you. Tony CC, thank you for being here. You are the man, the myth, the legend as well. Simple Jack, what's up to you as well? And Lost X, so do I expect a move up before taking the 60K low? Yes, I do, and I will talk about that. TNB will also welcome in. Yeah, guys, so here's the thing. Over the past, let me get back to Bitcoin, first of all. Over the past week or so, we've been expecting a corrective move in our larger range 4, and if we zoom out here, let me just zoom out to the daily time frame. We're still in, and I'm going to hide this channel real quick. We are still in that last push down from 98K. We're still in that last push down. And so overall, we're looking for, on the high time frames, that 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulse to come down, and we're in an extended 5th wave. So we've been concentrating on this extended 5th wave, this last rejection from 98K to our new lows. But within this push down, we need to see a completed impulse to expect higher swing long positions, higher positions, day trade to swing long positions, a higher relief rally. So it's important to diagnose what's happening in this last leg down to know when to really look for those, to know whether to really look for new lows to come in on the charts, or to look for potential shorts to come down to new lows, or a big rally is going to happen now, or we expect those new lows, right? So zooming in on this 4-hour time frame, we've been analyzing this impulse. So our wave 1 was down, a 5-wave impulse down to $87,500. Then for about a week, we saw that WXY corrective move in here, and it was a running flat correction, pretty much. Running flat correction in here in a wave 2. And then our wave 3 dumped us all the way down to 60K, excuse me. And that pretty much hit the 3.618 Fibonacci extinction target. So if we look at just pulling our Fibonacci extinction target from the highs of wave 1 to the lows of wave 1 to those ending corrected of wave 2, you can see that. Let's throw on that 3.618. I'll also throw on the 3 Fibonacci there. We pretty much came down between the 3 Fibonacci and the 3.618, which is a very aggressive 3rd wave. But the highest probability, and as a trader, we go with high probabilities. Because we dumped so aggressively in this dump to the downside with increased amount of volume, a big increased amount in volume, we have to classify this whole thing as a 3rd wave. It is the most highest likelihood that this is a 3rd wave to the downside. And then after a 3rd wave ends, we're looking for a 4th wave corrective move before overall seeing one last 5-wave impulse within your 5th wave, within the bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that is what we're looking for. And we've been talking about this on the channel for quite some time. I've been expecting a range that could last 1 to 4 weeks in this zone here. Now, is there a possibility that the corrective move was over and we're about to make new lows now? Yes, there is, because we did hit our 382 Fibonacci. So if you pull that Fibonacci retracement from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3, your targets for that rejection are between the 382 Fibonacci and the 0.5 Fibonacci. That's your most common rejection targets for a fourth wave. And as you're coming up in that fourth wave, you kind of want to see this zigzag, a 3-wave corrective move. So did we see that? And the answer to that question is yes, we actually did see a pretty decent 3-wave corrective move, rejecting overall from that 382 Fibonacci. Now we could see the next impulse to come down to make new lows. So there is a possibility that our corrective move was done here. But there is some issue with this. First off, time-wise, you generally want your wave 4 corrective moves are generally longer than your second wave corrective moves. And our second wave corrective move here lasted a week, 7 days. We've measured this before on this channel, on these different live streams. And that push up from 60K to that Sunday weekend high was only 2 days and 20 hours. So a very short wave 4. If that was our wave 4 and we're about to impulse down to make new lows, that was a very, very short correction as far as time goes, which makes it less probable. And remember, we're going with probabilities here. So what we're now looking for is, okay, we also know that wave 4s tend to be more complex and flat corrections. Complex things happen with inside there. So knowing that, time-wise, we really need some more time to pass, and knowing that we could see a larger, deeper zigzag correction where we create some sort of flat range in here, these sideways ranges that often occur after large dumps, this is what I'm expecting overall is the highest probability, is a corrective move that could last a couple more weeks. Now, we did reject from the 382. We've been trending down. Another reason why I'm expecting this to maybe see a possible leg up soon to break these local $72,000 highs is because the move down so far from the Sunday rejection, first of all, weekend high, that's another strike against us. That if the correction was over, it happened on a Sunday. That's very unlikely. And this push down in this descending channel that we've been seeing on the chart for the last few days here, this descending channel looks like a slow, grindy corrective move rather than the start of an impulse. If this was the high here, we would have wanted to see like a 1, 2, a big 3 wave that would have busted us through, and then 4, and then 5. Your third wave probably would have taken out these 60K lows, and your fifth wave would have ended at your next major support level, or it could dump, honestly, a lot farther too. But the minimum target I would say that fifth wave would end is like the $57,000 to $58,000 area of support. But we haven't seen that. We've been seeing this slow, grindy price action here. And sure, it could still be that we're in a multiple 1-2 impulse, like a 1-2, 1-2, and now we're about to waterfall in a third wave, and then we're going to see some 4-5s coming in. And then then if that happens, we got to say that was your fourth wave correction, and that was your fifth wave dump. But it's not likely. The way that we're grinding down in this descending channel, let me throw this descending channel on the chart. So I showed this to you guys yesterday in the video yesterday, but very nice micro trend here. We're just trending down within this channel. Looks like a lot of algo and bot trading to me. A lot of traders are kind of sticking out of the market. And also yesterday, I did show you guys, actually, I'll go into the order flow in just a second, but the two targets I talked about yesterday in my video, I was expecting new lows to come in. And this morning in the Telegram, I gave you guys both the bullish and the bearish scenario. I said, if we do come reject from the top of this channel or see a fake out and then fall back inside the channel, I will be looking for a short trade. Once we confirm re-entry back inside the channel, I would put my stop above that local high of the morning, and I would be targeting that green box of support. So a 6-to-1 scalp trade. And I would probably take a TP1 at the golden pocket just in case it bounces from the golden pocket, but still a great scalp short trade. We ended up getting that scalp short trade playing out Now, I did not take it on Bitcoin because I was focusing on Ethereum, and I took Ethereum's. I liked Ethereum's setup a little bit better. But I showed you guys that in the Telegram. The bullish option that I showed you in the Telegram this morning is that, yes, we were starting to break our trend of the last 4 days, 3-4 days here. And if we were going to bust out here and see this kind of sideways yesterday's low be the bottom and maybe start to make that leg up to break your 72K highs, then our long was a scalp long seeing, and I said I want to reclaim the anchored VWAP first. I wasn't going too long until we reclaim the anchored VWAP, and then I was going to set my stop below the low of the back test of the channel from this morning. So I would have to zoom in. Let's zoom in on the 12-minute. You could see here we were bouncing from the back test of the channel right in here. And on this high, if we were able to close a candle above that anchored VWAP, I was going to do a long position there. The stop would have gone below that local back test right there, that local bullish back test of the channel. And I would be targeting actually the lower highs at 71,000 as my TP1, because that is the second pivot of the channel. And when you break a channel, you'll often sweep the liquidity of the whole channel, but you usually, with a high likelihood, at least sweep the liquidity up to the second pivot of the channel. So that was the scalp long position that I talked about in the Telegram today. That scalp long position for a TP1 was a 3.5 to 1 risk reward ratio. And then to take it overall, I said that $73,500 naked daily point of control was really where I was looking for the final TP. And that's a really nice scalp long position. So that one did not play out, but the bearish scenario that I laid out this morning in the Telegram is playing out. We did get the bullish back test. We made new local highs just barely, but wasn't able to really maintain above that anchored VWAP. Lost it right away, and you can see even on low time frames, on the 5-minute time frame, we lost it. We back tested it as resistance again, and then we fell back inside the channel. And once you start to fall back inside the channel, yes, we did get. So we fell back inside the channel, and yes, we did get another little attempt to break out, but the second you fall back inside that channel after that rejection, you can actually enter the short position right in here on this candle. Your stop goes above that local high, and even though you come back up, you would be in the red for a little bit here on that trade. Really, you're looking at still seeing that trade is still in profit and playing out if you guys took that trade that I talked about this morning, with, of course, the final TP being down at that box of support around the daily level, around the point of control, and around your 786 Fibonacci. Now, the TP1 would still be the golden pocket for me, and if you guys are in that short, I would pay attention to this golden pocket, because what we're seeing here is we're still in this micro trend, right? This trend since Sunday, since the Sunday highs, we've been trending slowly, grinding slowly down here. And as we're grinding slowly down here, we saw our first fake out of the trend this morning. Our first fake out. We fell back inside. We reestablished the bearish price action within your local bearish trend. But you can see that we have been bouncing from the bottom. Yesterday's low was from the bottom of our trend. And we got a bounce. We flipped that midline to support, and then we made new local highs, or I guess you couldn't say not new local highs above this guy, but we made some new very, very local highs here. So you could have at least got a TP1 off of that scalp from the bottom of the trend. If this trend is going to continue, which now that we're reestablishing price action back in it, it means it's likely to continue. If we come down right now to your golden pocket, you can see that golden pocket, specifically that 0.65 golden pocket, is going to be at the bottom of the channel. Now, if we're developing some bullish divergences throughout this channel as we're coming down to the golden pocket, I would attempt a long position. I will attempt a long position. So it is not the best support, though. If you guys watched yesterday's video, this green box down below is a much stronger confluence of support. There is not really much down here except for the bottom support of the trend of our micro trend channel and our golden pocket. For me, that's enough to at least attempt to scalp if we're seeing bullish divergences. So if we're going to be making lower lows between yesterday's low and today's low, and we're seeing higher lows on the momentum waves, that is a bull div confirmed. You can see money flows kind of rising to the upside overall. And on NAMI, we had some nice drives of bull div, but now even regionally between yesterday's low and today's potential low, you can see we have some bull divs on the chart. So for me, that would be enough to at least attempt a long position from this golden pocket. We'll have to see, because if we get a small rise up here, just like I explained in yesterday's video, guys, if we do see a small bounce before then and kind of come up to your VWAP again first and then reject, I will not take it because it will no longer be in confluence with the bottom of the channel. So time is going to play a factor into where I long as well. We want to see that dump in the next, 2 to 3, 4 hours in here to hit that golden pocket. If we start to rise up before that, I'm not so interested, and then I'll be looking for another grind down to come down to that 786 and daily level. We have a daily level at like 72,700-ish, 72,788. So let's say 72.8K. And that is what I'll be looking for. So we can actually, hopefully this will play out during the stream today. If we do get the drop to the golden pocket, hopefully it plays out during the stream and we'll be able to take that trade live during the stream if it does play out. But the thing is, guys, and I warned about this in yesterday's video. So let's go to our order flow. And I showed you guys yesterday on the video, and this is one of the reasons why I use an aggregated CVD, an aggregated open interest, is because the aggregated open interest is taking into account most of the major exchanges. So you can see here from yesterday's high, we had been forming lower highs on the chart. And yesterday in the video, I said, guys, we're about to confirm a bearish absorption. We haven't confirmed it yet because we weren't making new highs on the CVD quite yet. They were still lower highs there. But I said, if we do come up and still make another lower high here, but we make a higher high in the CVD. So what you're looking for on bearish absorption, you're looking for lower highs on the price action. We do have lower highs on the price action here. You're looking for higher highs on the CVD. We do have higher highs here on the CVD. And the most important thing is you're looking for your open interest to see a steady increase in open interest. Because in order to have positions to absorb, you have to have new money entering the market. And you can see here, very nice bearish CVD absorption rejecting from our anchored VWAP, which was acting as support, by the way. The anchored VWAP throughout the weekend and through the beginning of the week, support, support, support. And then once we lost it here on Tuesday, since Tuesday, resistance, resistance, resistance. So 3 taps of support, then we lost it. It was 3 taps of resistance. So the loss, the rejection from this anchored VWAP, along with the bearish CVD absorption that plays out about 80% of the time, it was absolutely a good signal to enter a short upon re-entering back inside of the channel, back inside of our trend. And so we did get that dump. Now we are seeing a small bounce here after, taking out the lows from yesterday. Let's see if we reject from this midline. If we reject from this midline right now in the next 30 minutes, I expect a move down to the golden pocket. And then we'll see whether it's appropriate to take a long from this golden pocket or not. It looks like it's potentially setting up for a potential scalp long there. But it is playing out, our trend is playing out nicely. Now, because the way we've been dropping within this descending channel over the past 4 days, I don't think we're going to break our 60K lows right away. I don't think we're just going to continue dropping here to break those 60K lows. We are looking for, remember, a larger 3-wave corrective move that should last between 1 and 4 weeks. And if we're looking for that to last 1 to 4 weeks, we can say that was only 2.5 days. Let's see another 3-4 days of dropping either to the golden pocket or dropping to our 786. And then we could see another rise up locally, a scalp long position from an internal support to take out these highs, seeing that flat correction and that sideways range, taking liquidity from the highs of the range, and potentially rejecting from that naked daily at 73,450, or even coming up to about $75,300, where we could reject from the 0.5 Fibonacci. And that would also give some more space for an impulse to the downside. So let's say we do that. We are going to bounce from either the support levels below us, and I do think that the 786 support level is a lot better of a support. But let's say we do come down, bounce from the golden pocket, and then we see that impulse of one last push up. Now, in this push up, we would probably want to see it be actually a 3-wave corrective move, because if we're looking at this overall being a 3-wave move in here, And this is just probably like a double zigzag forming some sort of complex correction in this descending channel. But because we started with a 3-wave corrective move, you'd want to end, and this would be like a WXY corrective move in here, a complex corrective move. But either way, from our local support levels, we want to see some nice push to the upside with some increasing volume. And really the target would be to break those $72,200 highs. And it could just be as simple as a double top where we break those highs, take the liquidity, but close an hourly candle at or below the 382 and then dump right back down. And depending on how high we could just do a double top liquidity grab. We could come up to that naked daily point of control at 73,450, or we could come up to the 0.5. But what we're looking for then after this move is done, and I'm just going to bring it up to the 0.5, we want to see impulsive, a 1, a 2 retracement, probably to the golden pocket, a 3 come in with increased volume to the downside. Really nice. And this 3 might even break the 60K lows. What would actually be nice to see if that 3 wave does break the 60K lows, takes the liquidity, and then we see a small move up in a wave 4, everyone longs that SFP and then starts entering long within this area. And then we get one more 5th wave using those stops as fuel to bring us down to our macro support around 58 to 57K. And then you would have your last 5-wave impulse within that last 5th wave into major support. And this is where we could look for swing longs. 58 to 57K, guys, is where I will start looking for swing longs. But we do want to see good high time frame bull divs down here to make sure it's going to be a swing long. Either way, I do think we're going to get a reaction from this $58,000 to $57,000 area, and I'll be looking for scalp longs that could turn into day trades, that could turn into a swing. But we have to remember the larger structure here, guys. The reason why this next low that we make on the charts is so important, because it would be ending 2 major impulsive structures. I mean, 2 major ones. So it would be ending our impulsive structure from the all-time high, wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4. It would be our 5th wave of the biggest impulse down from the all-time high down to 58K, 57K. But it would also be ending our 5th wave within our extended 5th wave on the daily time frame. So the next low we make potentially could be the biggest swing long opportunity we see in the next few months. It could be the next biggest swing long opportunity we see in the next year if we're going into a bear market. Either way, the next macro low we make on the charts is a very, very key important low. Now, how cool would it be if you're making that macro low into the most important anchored VWAP there is, the anchored VWAP from our bear market lows? And in a bullish trend, oftentimes you will come back in a bearish cycle within that overall bullish trend. You'll come back to test the VWAP. If it holds, then you might see new all-time highs. And once again, we're still looking at the potential, guys, overall, that potential that I've been talking to you guys about for months on the channel of that ABC correction, right? So let me just go ahead and hide this here. We're looking at the potential A, B, C, the bigger weekly flat correction after finishing our weekly impulse from the bear market lows to the highs in January. That was our 5-wave impulse within the bull market. After that ends, you're looking for some sort of correction. And the most likely scenario so far has been the flat correction. We did reject exactly from those flat correction targets between the 1.236 and the 1.382. We rejected perfectly from that flat correction. It was also our pitchfork midline. Now, if we do come down to 58K, even potentially down to 54K to the bottom of the pitchfork, but we'll talk about that when we get there. We are looking for this after, in the most bullish scenario, we dump to 58 to 54K. We end the C wave. And remember, the C wave itself is supposed to be an impulsive structure to the downside. Well, the C wave is. Our dump on October 10th to 101K was our wave 1. Our retracement up to 116K was our wave 2. Our dump to 80.5K was our wave 3. Our retrace up to 98K was our wave 4. And in an extended 5th wave, a dump down to 57K or 54K would be our wave 5, and that would be your 5-wave impulse you're seeing within your larger flat corrective move. Now, the macro bullish scenario is after this impulse ends here, after the whole correction ends, the ABC flat correction ends, you would expect a motive wave, some sort of impulsive structure to make new highs, to make, in this case, new all-time highs. So that's why this 57K swing long opportunity could be the opportunity of a cycle coming up here in the next few weeks, few days to weeks. Is it guaranteed? No, that's our bullish scenario, that this is an A, B, C on the weekly time frame, and then we're about to push up to make new all-time highs. Now, I am a little bit, as far as Elliott waves go, that is the most probable scenario. But as far as our high time frame technical indicators go, with the triple drive of weekly bear divs, with money flow just crossing into the red, with our monthly bear divs, with our daily bear divs up in the distribution up here, we might see a lower high. After this ends, we might see a push up to your golden pocket, which would be around 107 to 110K. And then we might see that dump continue in a bear market. We don't know what it's going to be. Either way, we should get a really nice swing long from this next low. This next macro low should give us a really nice swing long. Probably a $20,000, $30,000 move at the minimum to the upside. So that is what we're going to be looking for over the next days. But as far as our low time frame trading goes, our opportunities, knowing that we're in a potential wave 4 corrective move that lasts 1 to 3 weeks, we are just doing scalp. We're focused on the scalp trading right now because we don't have any other major macro scenarios coming into play, or I should say it's a high probability that we are in a 4th wave before seeing one last new low come in a 5th wave. So for me, I'm trading the range until it breaks. We can still make just as much money on a small move from here to take out these highs. You can actually make more money on this move than if you long here and bring it all the way up, depending on your risk management. Remember, your trading profit is not based off the size of the move, whether it's a $10,000 move, a $5,000 move, or a $2,000 move. It is based off your stop loss percentage, seeing how good of an entry you get and where that stop loss is located. For instance, let's just say here, we're going to long the golden pocket at 62,281, and our stop is going to go below the 60K lows, and we're going to be looking for that 0.5 Fibonacci. That's only a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Or even at the very least, you could say, okay, I'm going to look at taking out those highs up into that naked daily point of control at about 73,450. That's a 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Now, let's say that, okay, we're not, that's a decent risk to reward ratio. That's a decent probability trade. But let's say that we do something like this. We get a small bounce here. We reject, continue back down. We come down and we see something like this and we bounce. We start to form this bottoming range throughout the weekend. And then we start to break market structure bullishly here, right? We break these highs. We break some market structure bullishly. And then we come back down to the golden pocket, the local golden pocket. And this is our long up. Now that we broke market structure bullishly, now our long opportunity is here. We can long it here, put our stop below the local low, and even just looking at coming up to your lower high golden pocket, we would pull a golden pocket here. Even coming up to this move, your risk to reward ratio is much better and your stop loss is much tighter. So you would actually make more money off of this smaller move than if you did this big move here. So it all depends, and that's why scalping can still be great. And right now, yes, we are looking for those large swing positions relatively soon here, but while we're in the scalping zone, in the scalping range, we can still make just as good profit based off of the scalp trades. And this morning, we had 2 good examples of potential scalp trades, and one of them is playing out right now. So we do it as traders. We just, our goal as traders is just to scrape a little bit of money away from the market every day. We don't have to know whether the big trade is coming from here or not. You still want to calculate your position size based off that stop loss. And of course, you can always leave some open to let that, let it be a runner in case it's going to turn into a swing position. All right, let me check the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Good evening, Jesse Path. Travie Trades, Hump Day. What is up, guys? It's Hump Day here. Jaw Fuels Hump Day, which every day's Hump Day for Jaw Fuel. So welcome in. AXSCB, thank you so much for being here. Let's go. And Botketo, Quiles, Darksby, Dr. Goat, CJ's, thank you guys all for being in. Adam Hartz, welcome in, guys. Let's see. Just saw the notification and came to say hi. Okay, yes, awesome, CJ. Well, thank you for coming to say hi and have a good time at the gym, man. Okay. Adam Hartz, CJ, thanks for telling me that. I could not have gone another second without knowing why you're not going to be able to stay long because you're going to hit the gym. I think there's a little bit of sarcasm in there, man. That's funny. Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. If you get any sort of insight right now from that past 10 minutes of technical analysis, please just hit the like button for me. Share the video with anyone you might think finds it interesting. And hopefully we get some live trades today, guys. We can, if we come down to this golden pocket, remember, we're just following this small channel trend right now. And actually, I want to zoom in here. Let's see if we're reclaiming that midline. All right. In some ways, this is bad for me, guys. This, if you want along the golden pocket, this is bad because we're seeing a little bit of a move up here before hitting that golden pocket, front running that golden pocket. If we do come up to the VWAP and reject the VWAP and then continue down, I mean, there's still a possibility it could play out, but I would actually be looking, I'd rather be looking to probably come down to your more macro support or your better support, your better confluence. Remember, this confluence in here is a much better confluence as far as the amount of support we have down there. All that we have at the golden pocket is the bottom of our channel trend. At our 786 Fibonacci, well, with that zone of the 786 Fibonacci, we have our macro point of control. That's from our range in 2024, which was an 8-month-long range and a major fair value. It's now, once again, considered the fair value for Bitcoin. Now that we've reestablished price action within that range, we could say that that's now the fair value for Bitcoin, is that old 2024 pricing. It is also the bottom of our pitchfork. You know, that pitchfork, the bottom of our pitchfork coming in right around that 786. And because the daily candle did close above our pitchfork support, we are saying it is still a valid support that is holding. So we might get multiple tests of it before, you know, you get another test of it, then you could come up. So that bottom of the pitchfork, and we did reject from the lower band of the pitchfork. So it is likely that we could see another test of that bottom to see if that support holds a second time. And then it's also our daily level. Our daily level's in there as well. We have the daily level and we have the, POC, pitchfork, daily level, and 786. So 4 levels in there that we're looking at in very close confluence between 63,150 and 62.8, let's say. All right. I'm doing good. Mind Tapestry, welcome in. I'm doing really good. Yeah, the market has been kind of a mess, but honestly, it's been trading very technically. Like, actually, I wouldn't even say it's a mess. You know, the dump on Thursday definitely went more aggressive than we figured. We were actually looking for a bounce from that 70K to like 68.5K area, and it did dump straight through that major support, which that was a mess and that was a bit surprising. But for the most part, our technical analysis has been working just great. We came up, we saw the, first of all, we bounced from our previous range value area low, like absolutely perfectly. And let me just take a second to explain that, because anytime you have an upper range, and let me turn on these levels here. Anytime you have an upper range, like this 2025 range in here, well, when you start to lose the value area low of that range, which was holding as support for like the last 3 months, right? It was holding as support. When you start to lose it and close weekly and daily candles below it, you have a very, very high probability of coming for the liquidity at the lows of the range. Now, if that liquidity grab does not succeed, if you don't see a dip below to grab the liquidity and then an instant rise back inside the range to try to find reacceptance in the range, then you're more likely to dump to your next level, your next range of balance in the market. And remember, all a range is where the market's finding some balance on the price, on the fair value for that asset, in this case, Bitcoin. So In 2024, we had 8 months of a little bit of balance within the market where the market was happy to accept the price of Bitcoin, the fair value around 63K, the undervalued around 60K, and the overvalued around 70K. So anytime that you do not see that successful liquidity grab, you're likely to dump to at least test the value area high of your previous range of balance. Well, if you can't bounce from that bullish backtest of that previous value area high and get back inside of this range, then you're going to expect to find reacceptance back within this range. Now, it was a bit crazy because it happened so quickly on Thursday. There was no reaction at all at the value area high. We dumped straight through the value area high, came all the way down to the value area low, which is the undervalued, considered the undervalued price of 2024's fair value for Bitcoin. We bounced directly from that value area low. And then we closed the daily candle at the fair value of 2024, the point of control. So, and then after that on Friday, we rose up to try to break out of the range, out of 2024's range. We couldn't. We rejected there, and we've been dropping for the rest of the week, still back inside the range. So what that means is that the market has now reestablished the fair value for Bitcoin back to 2024 prices. We are now considering this the fair value for Bitcoin again. And because that point of control is the ultimate fair value with, 70K being overvalued, 60K being undervalued, that 70K or 63K POC is going to be an important level. If we come back down there to back test it again, we might see buyers stepping in at fair value if they are bullish on the asset. So that is why that level of support, that internal level of support, is at least good to look for a scalp to break the weekend highs, which weekend highs often get taken out. So, but the big point I'm trying to make is we have now reestablished our price action back within 2024 pricing, and no longer are considering the fair value for Bitcoin within this upper range. We have now repriced the fair value of Bitcoin. After making a new low based off the Elliott waves not being fully complete, you could see a deviation of the lows of this range at 60K just to come down to hit your key volume support, your trend volume support, which would be the anchored VWAP. And then if we see impulsive price action, we want to impulse out of this range, break those 70K highs, 72K highs, 70K, wherever those highs are going to be. And we want to make another run up to back test your high, I'm going to call this the all-time high range. We're going to back test that all-time high range value area low. So we could get a swing long position from 57K all the way at minimum up to 86K to back test that 86K value area low. And that could be a super good swing long position, depending on when you get in, how you get in, and how you take profit on that. That is a very hefty move there. That would be, a 51% move to the upside, 52% move to the upside. So that is a great swing long position. But on the macro time frame, depending on what happens from this bounce, if we do bounce, we want to first start that first leg out in an impulse. And if we do, let's just say this scenario is going to play out. We're going to get one more low into 57K, and then we are going to get that impulsive price action that breaks us through our 2024 range. And we're going to keep going up. We're going to go up, and we're most likely going to test the value area low of the range that we lost. In this area, if we are creating some bear divs on the chart on the daily time frame as we're coming up and we start to reject from here, this could be the ultimate swing short of the bear market, right? We could swing short. You could dump from 86K all the way down to make new lows below 57K. And it could come all the way down, like much, much further down, maybe even down to grab the 49K liquidity. So we have some really good swing opportunities on Bitcoin, swing long, swing short opportunities within the next few months that really only happens a few times within a cycle. Like, you had that corrective range here, you reject, and then you get that huge move to the downside. That just happened here. Corrective range here, reject, huge move to the downside. And then in this case, we continued a bear market. So you did get a nice swing long position from this bottom. You got a nice healthy move to the upside. What was that? Like a 44%. Instead of 50%, it was 44% in this case. But then you rejected, and you can see you're kind of rejecting your prior lows here. And then we continued the bear market. So you see, you come down, you reject those prior lows, and then you continue to drop. So we have some really good opportunities that only come around on high time frames every once in a while that are going to be occurring in the next couple of months. But for now, we have to be patient because we're waiting for this fourth wave corrective move to play out. Now, all of that scenario that I just covered was based off of our macro impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there is one more macro scenario that we have on the charts, and that's our WXY corrective move. And in that, instead of it being an A, B, C wave with a C being an impulse in here, we could be looking at, from the all-time highs, a WXY correction. And so that WXY correction could be a 3-wave move in a W, right? You get your overall 3-wave move in a W. You get your 3-wave move in an X. And then we could be looking for a 3-wave move in a Y, right? But this only coming up to this here for the second leg of the Y is not enough. So what we'd be looking for is like something like this, where we come up to the golden pocket, come up to test these prior lows, and then we would get that move down. And this would be your 3-wave move in a Y. And that would take more time. So if we do not take out the lows again, and we start to hit the golden pocket of your wave 3, so if you hit this golden pocket at $78,900, it will invalidate the impulse, right? Because if we're looking for this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a new low 5 coming into 57K, you cannot hit the golden pocket of wave 3. So you want to pull your golden pocket from this lower high at 91K down to your 60K lows. And if you hit that golden pocket, it is going to invalidate the impulse. We will cover that. If that's confusing to you guys, don't worry. We're going to have time to see how that plays out. Either way, we've dumped about 50% on Bitcoin, so you should be looking for longs, but knowing that the highest probability is for new lows to come in below 60K, play those longs first as scalp long positions that could turn into a day trader's swing trade. But in that WXY scenario, we're going to get a nice 3-wave move up here, coming up and at least surpassing that golden pocket at 78.9. And then we would see this being our 3-wave move in the Y, because we have a nice 3-wave move within the X, a nice 3-wave move within the X, and then you would have that 3-wave move within the Y. So that is what we're kind of going to be looking for on the macro scenarios. All right, let me zoom in here. I want to see if we can get a scalp during this live stream. It would be really nice if we could get a scalp trade during this live stream. I don't know if it's going to happen. And I'll cover Ethereum in just a second, guys. Ethereum gave us a really, really nice short earlier today. I'm still in that short, but I did take out 75% profit on that short position. Peter, is it possible we're still in wave 3? No, it's unlikely that we're still in a wave 3. Because this move up from 60K to 72K, it is unlikely. It is far more likely that your third wave is done with. When you're in a third wave to the downside, you want to see that sharp decrease with increasing volume. And if we turn on our volume right now, you can see that our volume since that low has died off pretty aggressively, So meaning when you see a third wave in, it often increases quite a bit during the third wave. And then during the fourth wave, you see volume decreasing overall from those highs. And so this is likely to be a corrective move with decreasing volume, meaning that it's more likely to be corrective before overall dumping here. So that is unlikely to be still in the third wave. And it's also been now close to a week since those lows last Thursday. Actually, it has been a week. Since those lows last Thursday, it's been pretty much a week here. So you wouldn't see a week of sideways chop inside of a third wave like this. Okay. Yeah, so that is likely to be finished. John Shanks, welcome in, man. Turbo bounced from the golden pocket. What's next? Okay, we'll check Turbo in just a second here. Let me just cover the chat just a bit. All right, where was I? It is going to zero. OG crypto holders are exiting with leverages, liquidity all the way to the downside. They will wait until more buyers enter. Yeah, we could be in a bear market, Shez. We could be in a bear market. We'll look at Aster. We'll look at Turbo. Preparing for war. Good afternoon, man. Welcome in. I hope you just caught what I just talked about, because I know you DM'd me earlier and asked me about that support level. So the internal support level that we're looking at preparing for war, the main one, of course, we have the golden pocket coming up at, relatively soon here. But the main support level we're looking at, for me, I should say I'm looking at, is that between 63,150 and 62.6, which is our goal, our point of control, the bottom of our pitchfork, a 786 and a daily level, all within this box of support. And I'm expecting something like this to happen, where we can, come down, bounce from this level, get one more high, taking out your weekend highs from last Sunday. And this would be your wave 4 that lasts 1 to 4 weeks before seeing a 5th wave to come down and take those 60K lows. All right. Yeah, please hit the like button. Thank you, Darksby. Please hit the like button, guys. Todd, C-Train, welcoming you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeshwant, much love to you. 64,500 is a zone if interested. Yeah, I do. Well, 64,500 is that golden pocket. So yeah, it is definitely a zone. 64.6 to about 64.3 is that golden pocket zone. And it's at the bottom. It's just not the best confluence. So I think that, yes, you absolutely could get a bounce from that golden pocket, but the stronger confluence is definitely near the 786, a little bit lower. But I'll attempt a long position if we come down here, because we are developing some bull divs on the 1 hour chart. If we do reject right now from this midline and then come down relatively quickly, I will look for a long from there. And I'll play it first as a scalp. Because you know what we could get, guys, is we could get this rejection from the midline, a drop to the golden pocket, a move up from the golden pocket to the top of the trend again, and that would be kind of your rejection from your lower high golden pocket as well. If you pull that, look at that golden pocket would be at the top of the trend, and then we might reject from that lower high golden pocket, and then continue working your way down over the weekend until you hit that support. So this whole trend could continue until you get to this better support level, but this could still be a really good scalp long, right? It would be a scalp hoping that you maybe are going to break out and take out those highs. Um, 5 MMS on BTC. Is it a good place to go long? Wait, so Jesse Pathing, I'm not sure what you mean by MSS. Short squeeze incoming. Liberty and Trust. We could see a short squeeze. Yeah, we were getting some fresh longs. Actually, no. I mean, we did see the long squeeze happen earlier today. So here's another thing, guys. I showed you earlier that we had bearish CVD absorption, which plays out literally 80% of the time. So it was a very good signal to enter the short from this rejection earlier today. But look at what happened here earlier today at those highs. So as we were coming up to those highs, you can see we had a lot of long positions step in. For the most part, those were fresh long positions that were stepping in right at the top up here. Long positions because they were breaking our channel. Remember, we were breaking our channel. So a lot of people are saying, oh my God, we're breaking the 4-day long trend. I'm going to long the back test of the trend. And that's why a lot of longs, it was breakout traders looking to long the breakout of that channel. They longed right up into rejection area, and it was used as fuel to push us down. We got, and you can see that's why right afterwards we saw a bit of a drop in the open interest, and your CVD was dropping there because those longers that longed right up towards the top today got stopped out or liquidated, and that's going to cause your open interest to drop there. So we started this dump with a long squeeze, but then after we fell back in the channel, a lot of fresh shorters started shorting, and they successfully pushed the price down to make new lows for the day. So yes, it started with the long squeeze. Now it's been a new, and remember, with the squeeze, whether it's a short squeeze or a long squeeze, at the end of the squeeze, if new positions don't come in to support that wherever direction that's going, it usually reverses. But in this case, we started with the long squeeze here, and then as we started dropping, you saw those fresh shorts coming in, which made the long squeeze ended, and then it started being a healthy move to the downside. So yeah, we are getting that healthy move down right now. And then on this small bounce that we're seeing right now, you can see that we had some long stepping in towards the very bottom of the move. But right now we're dropping in open interest as we're rising. So it's a little bit of a short squeeze from some late shorters that were shorting down in here, but it's nothing much. Honestly, it's nothing much to be worried about here. Just a little bit of a push up. I wouldn't even call it a squeeze, because with a squeeze, you want continuation. So I would just say a little bit of those late shorters that shorted the very bottom down here are starting to get stopped out, but not a squeeze per se. With a larger short squeeze, here's the thing with the short squeeze. You generally want to see that short squeeze happening with bullish CVD absorption, and we're not really seeing bullish CVD absorption here. Actually, we are on the larger time frames. Somewhat. Let me see here. No, not really. So from the weekend highs, you can see from the weekend highs, no, in order to see a bullish CVD absorption, let me just zoom out to the 30-minute here. In order to see bullish CVD absorption, you want to be making higher lows on the price action. Are we doing that? Yes. You want to be making lower lows on the CVD. Are we doing that? Yes. You want to see your open interest steadily increasing from that low. So where was that low at? Your open interest was up here. Is open interest increasing from this spot or decreasing? Overall, it's decreasing from that spot. So you are seeing bullish CVD divergences, but it's not absorption. And in order to see a real nice long squeeze, you would want to see absorption. But because we are seeing some bullish CVD divergences, you could see a little bit of a squeeze. I'm not saying, it could squeeze up maybe to the top of the trend before dropping back down. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, I wouldn't say the best short squeeze is possible right now, but you could get some small price action there. Jesus Save 77, thank you so much for being here. God bless you, and thank you for being here. The market makers, which are the OG buyers of Bitcoin, are shorts. They will rug longs to the downside. Yeah, we're going to see how this plays out. I know a lot of new institutions are stepping in, though, so we'll see if they're bullish or bearish on the asset. The guy in a hat. What is the price doing locally now? Are we corrective or impulsive? Looking for an entry after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after the dump. So very locally, we are in this entire channel looks corrective. Okay. So I would say we're in corrective price action that is either going to bounce us from an internal support level of the golden pocket or the 786. And then you should see an impulse from there, a small 5-wave impulse to take out your weekend highs. Okay. Just not sure I'm able to count. Yeah, a micro. So I don't even know if you're talking micro, John, a guy in a hat like here. I wouldn't even bother counting that. Like you could zoom in on the 3-minute. Remember, Elliott waves do not really, the market is imperfect, and there's a lot of bot and algo trading too. And Elliott waves are based off human psychology, and with very small time frames, and you've got these super fast scalping bots and stuff like that. Elliott waves start to break down a bit under the 15-minute time frame. Yes, they still do work overall psychologically, but it is best to stick on the 15-minute and above for Elliott waves. So I wouldn't even be trying to diagnose the super small time frame stuff with Elliott waves. I would use other confluences. I would be looking at, your indicators here, because momentum does shift. There's better tools, let's just say. I meant mess because I got stopped out on silver. Oh, man. Okay. Guys, by the way, MEXC is one of the partners of the channel. They do have silver trading, silver and gold available in the futures markets, and you can use USDT to trade silver and gold. So I'm actually really interested in shorting gold and silver We'll cover gold and silver as well in just a second. All right. I'm DJ. I'm only venting. Well, Shez, you can vent anytime here, man. You can vent. It's all good. Just don't be disrespectful to anyone, please. All right. I've been watching the VP from February, the volume profile from February 2024. The moves have been respectful. Yes, absolutely, Mind Tapestry. Absolutely, they have been. But all in all, my win rate is much higher than before. So awesome, Mind Tapestry. I'm so happy to hear that your win rate is higher than before. I'm so happy that you get something out of this channel. And just thank you for being here, because you are a big support to this channel. So thank you for that. Crypto Clan World, welcome in, man. It's good to see you in here. Chad P, welcome in as well. Dr. Rex, welcome in. Okay, and Sandy Kumar, hello to you. Crypto Don Juan, it's good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. So guys, it looks like we're trying to reject from this midline. Let's give it some time, but I'll set an alert here. We'll set an alert around this golden pocket. I'm just gonna throw something in here. Actually, we'll move this up just a little bit, and I'm just gonna set an alert here. Well, I don't have to make a message. So if we're looking at alts and we come down here, it'll alert us and we can maybe try to catch a live trade. But let's go into some of the altcoins real quick here. Actually, I want to cover Ethereum really quickly. So Ethereum, I'm in the short, but I did take 75% out profit. See, we came up to the value area low and we were rejecting that value area low. And I actually waited a little bit until we lost the pitchfork line, and then I shorted, but my stop was above this high here. Actually, I think it was even on lower time frames. It was above even a lower high than that. But my first TP was to come down to SFP this low into the golden pocket, and I took out 75% already. Now we might be getting a decent long opportunity from this golden pocket and SFP of yesterday's low to push up. But if Bitcoin's going to make another low, Bitcoin hasn't quite come down to its golden pocket. So I would be looking for a potential one more low to come in here, and we might be able to get a long on Ethereum. The thing with Ethereum, so let's zoom out to the 4-hour chart. Ethereum is now flipping that band, that pitchfork band. Why is this on here? Okay, Ethereum is now flipping that pitchfork band to resistance. You can see this little pitchfork band here. It's flipping to resistance. And let me just take this off the chart for a second. The main level that I'm looking for Ethereum now, if Bitcoin does come down to make new macro lows, 57, 58K, Ethereum has a very nice bottom around $1,600, $1,600 to $1,560. It is our 4-year long range point of control. You can see this goes back 4 years, this range. And on Coinbase, that point of control is around 1560, 1570. It's also the bottom of our pitchfork, which we rejected perfectly from the top of the pitchfork. We lost the upper band. We flipped it to resistance. We were holding a support in the midline, finally lost it. And now we're chopping around in that lower band, which you will often see chop around the bands. And if we do make a new low, potentially coming down to that support level down here, oh my gosh, that could be a great swing long position. But locally on Ethereum, we fell straight through the pitchfork band, and on Friday and over this week, we back tested the top of that band as resistance, and now we're falling back below it. So it's not a good sign that we're falling back below it, but I was playing this as a scalp, remember, very low time frame scalp. So in the grand scheme of things, my short was from here to here. And you're like, how did you make money off of that little short from there just to here? You know, that's nothing. That's a super small move. Remember, it doesn't matter about the size of the move. It matters about your position, your stop loss, and how tight your entry is. So, but overall, if we're expecting Bitcoin to do a kind of corrective range over the next week to 4 weeks, we can be expecting Ethereum to do something like this. And knowing that we're right around the band, Ethereum does, and all altcoins like to form ranges inside and around these bands. So we could be seeing now, we're finally hitting the golden pocket. Let's zoom in onto the 2-hour chart. And if you pull your golden pocket from the lows that were made last Thursday to the highs that were made on whatever day that, well, let's see, was this the high? This was 2150 and this was 2146. So yeah, the high that was made on Sunday, a weekend high. You can see yesterday when we came down, we front ran the golden pocket just barely. That's not a good sign. We pushed up, lower high, still creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And now we came down and we actually finally hit the golden pocket. So unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum is reaching its golden pocket support level. You could see the bounce from here to create that bigger 3-wave corrective move. And it would kind of create this nice little ascending channel or bear flag type structure within this wave 4 corrective move before seeing the dump down here. So that's why, and also with the SFP, I say this a lot on the channel, and you guys that have been in here for a while hear me say this. Anytime you see a liquidity grab into a golden pocket, that is a great setup if it does play out. Because a golden pocket is a really key psychological support level. And then you have a liquidity grab, which is the best thing to look at in markets. Liquidity runs the markets first and foremost. So you could see that liquidity grab into the golden pocket. You could see a rise up here. We could even, like if you were here, obviously it's too late now to take the long position. But if you did take this long position, look at this scalp that you got here. You long on the reclaim of this low. Your stop is just going to go below the local low. And even coming up to backtest that pitchfork band, that's almost a 9-to-1 risk to reward trade. Or even coming up to the VWAP, that's a 6-to-1 risk to reward trade scalp off such a small tight move that's almost, you would have already almost been winning this trade already. So yeah, actually, that's why I took 75% of the short out there. Now, if we do come up to the VWAP and reject the VWAP, you might look for another low, at least locally, and you could, I don't know if I'd be looking for a short from the VWAP because you don't really have a good proper invalidation. But scalp trading is the name of the game right now, guys. And the reason why we shorted is because we rejected from the value area low up here. So if you throw on that value area low of this upper range that we were forming, reject the value area low. Random Trader, thank you for that comment, man. I hope the explanation helps. Because a lot of the reason I'm doing this is not to come on here and say, oh, look at me, guys, I'm winning trades, you know, or I called it, whatever. It's not about that at all, because there's plenty of times where I call for things to happen and they don't happen. It's about probabilities and knowing how to trade those probabilities, right? You could be the best at TA in the world, but if you don't know how to trade that TA, then there's no point in it. So a lot of this is education based to just try to help you guys understand what's happening and why as well. All right. So Ethereum overall, we could bounce from this golden pocket. We could see another rise up to take out your weekend highs. I am worried about us seeing especially because Bitcoin hasn't really come down to either support level yet. Bitcoin has not hit its golden pocket. Ethereum or it's 786. So Ethereum could see something like where we reject from this lower part of the band again today and then continue down. Money flow still looks pretty bearish. You did print a hidden bear div here, so just be careful if you're longing Ethereum. But we did at least see a setup that already in some ways is playing out, the long from the SFP into the golden pocket. And you do have bull divs on the 1 hour. Lower lows here. Higher lows here, money flow curving to the upside, about to cross into the green. Bull divs here, money flow bull divs here. It's that prime setup that I look for. So I do think that this push up could at the very least, bring us to hit the VWAP. Or, you know, I would even like it to come up a little bit higher than that. As a matter of fact, you could even come up to hit the top of the pitchfork band again, continuing that sideways range within this pitchfork band before seeing the big drop. Thank you, Crypto Wanderer. I really appreciate that, man. I don't know if I'm the best, but I at least have a strategy that works for me. And if my explanations can help you guys in some ways or give you some sort of insight, then that's all I really am appreciative of. Winning 99% of your trades, then you are moving the market with your advantage by your team and you. Yeah, I don't know if anyone wins 99% of their trades. Honestly, if they do, I would be very skeptical of them, because no matter what, all the probabilities can be in favor, all the technical analysis can be in your favor, and just sometimes the trade just goes against you. It's just an imperfect market. So if someone's saying they're winning 99% of their trades, I would run the other way, or I would seriously question them with some heavy skepticism. Our Time Attack, welcome in, my man. Thank you so much for being here. TGIT. So not only is it Hump Day Thursday, but it's TGI Thursday. Heck yeah, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. Very, very quickly here, I want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. And by the way, I am going to be bringing on a new partner relatively soon that should be exciting for you guys. Another exchange that I'm going to be bringing on, non-KYC exchange. So that's going to be exciting for you guys. You guys will have some new opportunity there. But right now, the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They're a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. So for instance, if you deposit $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus, which is the highest I've seen off a $100 deposit. And then 20% deposit bonuses up to $1,000 and 10% deposit bonuses up to $20,000. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much you trade in the futures markets, which is what we are trading when we're doing these long and short positions in those futures markets. So you can earn extra rewards, and they pay in real Bitcoin. Also, I've partnered with BYDFI to create that Telegram community. You guys hear me talk about it in every single live stream, in every single video. It's a free community. It is private. It's a partnership with BYDFI. So in order to get into that community, all you need to do is sign up with BYDFI using the affiliate link in the description, and then you do need to deposit $100. That $100 is, you can deposit more than that, by the way. The minimum is $100. The partnership is, if once you sign up with BYDFI, deposit the $100, then you can go click the Telegram link in the description of this video. Once you're in the Telegram channel, type in /verify in your user ID, your BYDFI user ID, which is going to be right up here, or it's going to be probably a string of letters and numbers for you guys, but /verify in your user ID, and then you'll be in the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. I post my trade setups, what I'm thinking about trades, not only on Bitcoin, but on altcoins, kind of try to let you guys know what I'm thinking throughout the day. And there is a general chat in there where you can tag me. You can ask me questions about some of the altcoins, or questions about Bitcoin, questions about trades. So if you're interested, links are in the description below. The next partner of the channel is going to be NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator on the bottom of your screen here. And for me, it's crucial because I use it for confirmations to enter and exit trades. Like if we're coming down to the golden pocket, I want to see bull divs if we're coming down in order to take a long position. So I'm looking at NAMI to see if we're creating bullish divergences. So higher lows on the momentum waves, lower lows on the price action. You also want to see maybe if there's money flow bull divs, which we do have. So once I see the confirmations, once we get to our key level, if I see the confirmations, I'll enter the trade. If I don't see them, I don't enter the trade. And so NAMI has been really, really helpful in helping me stay out of bad trades and helping me get into good trades. So if you're interested in purchasing it, to me, it pays for itself almost immediately. Then I have partnered with NAMI to get you guys 50% off. So if you use the affiliate link in the description of the video and use the promotion code Divine50, which is also in the description in this video, you can get 50% off that lifetime subscription to NAMI. And then we have two other exchanges, MEXC and Bybit. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. And all those guys are just ways to help out the channel, ways to say thank you. So if you appreciate the channel, if you appreciate the TA, using those affiliate links does help me kind of grow, helps me get more established within the YouTube community, within the crypto community. So I appreciate it if you guys will use those links if you're interested. So thank you for that. Let's get back to the TA here. Let's see. I was going to look at Turbo, and I'm going to go through the altcoins a little bit quicker, guys, because I know some of you guys aren't interested in everything that we cover. But we'll go through some of the altcoins here. We'll go through gold and silver. All right. So Turbo, you said, was hitting that golden pocket. Yeah, you know, it does look like you're getting a decent bounce from that golden pocket. Golden pocket being hit very nicely. Yep. Starting to see a break in local market structure. So you can see here, first off, as you're coming down to the golden pocket, you see this corrective channel, right? Meaning it does look slow and grindy to the downside, meaning it's probably a corrective channel where you're going to bounce from a higher low to make a higher high. Do we see bull divs as we're coming down to the golden pocket? Yes. We see actually very nice bull divs. Do we see money flow rising? Yes, we do. Do we see money flow rising? Yes, we do. So that was actually a really good, if I was trading Turbo, I would have longed that golden pocket hit right there. Very nice hit on the golden pocket. Now, since we hit the golden pocket, you can see that we have broken, let me now zoom into the 1 hour chart. We have now broken market structure bullishly, at least locally, by taking out those highs. That's your first bullish break in market structure, right? Because you can see here, we're doing high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yes, you did get a little bit of a change there, but overall, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then you break market structure bullishly. Now, after that break, you did come down and make another new low. That could actually be a flat correction in here. This could be a flat correction, but you are now continuing to push up and continuing to kind of break that local market structure. So I would say the long was good. Money flow looks good coming in, hidden bull divs printing. You don't want to fall. You need to kind of get above these highs and stay above them. So you are struggling here at the VWAP. You want to start to flip that VWAP to support. Earlier today, it looks like throughout the day, it was flip to support, flip to support, flip to support. Now we lost it. And if you reject here, that's not going to be good. So if you were in a long from the golden pocket and we start to reject right now from the VWAP, you might want to pull some out just to cover fees and then move your stop loss to break even. Let's see where we're at as far as very local. Are we hitting? Yeah. Okay. And so you see what's happening here. We broke market structure bullishly. We now retrace to the local golden pocket, the bullish golden pocket, and you're bouncing from that. So honestly, I think that this could continue with the nice bull divs that we're seeing on the 1 hour, with money flow looking pretty decent here. Actually, was that the 1 hour chart that we were, the 4 hour had some nice bull divs on it. 4 hour had some nice bull divs, multiple drives of bull div on the 4 hour. The 1 hour has money flow coming up very nicely. You are bouncing from your higher low golden pocket. I would say this is likely to continue pushing up here. Let's diagnose some real low time frames here. Man, this has such low liquidity that, okay, what we can do now is look at our range. Let's look at this sideways range that we're developing. So from the lows, we'll go over, kind of pull the sideways range. Yeah, I would say it looks pretty nice because you bounced from your value area low golden pocket area and you're above the POC right now, but you did come down to backtest that higher low golden pocket. So I would say you have a high likelihood of at least coming to the value area high, which is going to be at 0011. Let's also pull Fibonacci retrace. Yes, and see where your golden pocket is there too as well. So you're bouncing from this golden pocket. I would say it's very highly likely that we're at least going to continue up to hit this level here. So if you longed this golden pocket, your TP1 could be right up here because you probably are going to see some sort of rejection from there. Hopefully you create a higher low, kind of flip these prior highs into support, and then continue pushing up to break out the weekend highs or the Friday highs. But it does look nice, at least to come up to the value area high. And if this is going to range for a bit longer, like if Bitcoin is going to continue to range for another couple of weeks, you could just be range trading this, right? You long near the value area low and your golden pocket. Now you have a new bearish golden pocket at the value area high. You could even look for shorts up here. Let's see if there's a naked daily point of control up there. Yeah, you have two squished in between it. So I would say this is looking like a pretty strong resistance area here. Very strong resistance area within this little zone. So I would be at least taking 50% of the long trade out. If you long this golden pocket, I'd take 50% out up here. Me personally, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you guys what to do. Do not give financial advice here, but I'm just letting you guys know my plan is if I was trading this, which I am not trading this, but this would definitely be a resistance zone. And really, if you want to zoom in on it, that value area high golden pocket is the zone within the zone. But you did get a nice little bounce here with some bull divs, some nice 4-hour bull divs. So I would expect continuation. And it could just continue range trading. Reject here. You could come all the way back down, take out the lows again. You could continue this sideways range. Continue to develop a sideways range in here. Overall, though, this golden pocket is a nice higher low if we're going to create that 3-wave corrective move, right? So that's why I'm only taking 50% out here. If I was in that trade, I would only take 50% out here. I would move my stop loss to break even. There now it's a risk-free trade no matter what. It's a winning trade no matter what. And I would leave the other 50% open to come for these highs. Because you could get that push up here to come for those highs. Okay, well, Lil Rich, thank you so much, man. I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you for the kind comment, and I just appreciate you being in here and being part of the community as well. Okay, let's see here. What were we going to look at next? We were going to look at, we did, let me scroll in this chat a bit, guys. I'm sorry. Turbo, silver. I know we were going to look at silver. Okay, so on silver, let me zoom out to the 3-day time frame. We're looking for a pullback in a wave 4, right? So we're looking at this impulse from $11, $12 here. Wave 1, wave 2, our wave 3 came right up to the 2-to-1 Fibonacci extinction and our pitchfork band. By the way, I was telling everyone to short right here at $117 to $120. Also to take profit on some spot. Now we have dumped and we've lost the pitchfork. And now if we zoom in on lower time frames on the daily, you can see that what happened here. We lost the pitchfork. We back tested the pitchfork because we rejected on the bearish back test. You expect to make new local lows and take out that low. We did. Okay, now we're getting a small rise again, but we're making a lower high and rejecting from that golden pocket. I believe it's going to be the golden pocket. Let's zoom in here and check. So after the bearish back test of the pitchfork, you get a new low. Okay, it's probably going to be your 786 actually. You reject from your 786 Fibonacci, and now we're dumping. So you're continuing your bearish market structure. Lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now let's expect a lower low. And I expect this to continue to grind down here at least until you hit the 382 Fibonacci or the 0.5 Fibonacci. This is your ultimate zone to look for spot buys and longs. Okay, 47, around 47 to $46, 48 to $46. Super good support. Why is that super good support? Because within our larger Elliott wave structure, after your wave 3 ends, rejecting from a wave 3 target into the pitchfork, you're looking for a pullback to, in a wave 4, you're looking for a pullback between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, either here or 4, either here. And then you're looking for a 5th wave, either way, to break your 117 highs. So coming down to $58 or $46, $47 would be very, very nice to look for a swing long on silver to at least break the highs of wave 3. Now, your wave 2 took quite some time. Your wave 2 grinded sideways and down for what, over 2 years or I want 700 days, 750 days, right? So you're expecting your wave 4 to grind down slowly, kind of like this, for quite some time. Now, we had the initial sharp rejection, but that was just because this got so parabolic here. But eventually, silver is going to start balancing out, and you could see a grind for quite some time, even something like this, where you see that corrective move. You know, it might not be as long as this. It might only be a few months. It might be half a year, but you're expecting a grind down over time to get to one of these targets. With the extreme volatility we saw, with this extreme straight up right here, you could come down faster. But just be aware that you're looking for support now at some of these levels. You can see on the 3-day time frame, where are our nice support levels? First of all, they're at $58.47, 46, 48 to 46. That's the best support level in my opinion. I will look to buy spot here to take to new all-time highs. But look at this 3-day order block. Where does it happen to be? Right at your 382 Fibonacci. So you have a very important order block in there, right at the 382 Fibonacci. No coincidence, in my opinion. And then you have a nice daily level coming in at, this is the 3-day. Let me go to the daily. You have a nice daily level that was coming in at, why is that changed? That was coming in at $47. So $47 to $46, that area is really nice. This daily level up here, $50, I would pay attention to that as well. But seeing the liquidity grab of that low into this support would be better in my opinion. But yeah, we're rejecting a big bearish engulfing candle for the day. And we had some really aggressive bearish divergences. Actually, did we? No. Was it weekly? On the weekly time frame, I think we had some very aggressive bear divs. Actually, we didn't, guys. We did between these highs here. You can see 2 highs here. That was this high and this high. You see weekly bear divs here. But either way, money flow's topping out. You have bear divs. Money flow's already curving down on NAMI. And if we go to the daily, yeah, no aggressive bear divs there, which is very interesting. But I would continue with the market structure. And this big bearish engulfing candle from yesterday's green candle rejecting directly from that 786, I would probably be expecting to continue to grind down to at least take out the lows from Friday. But it might not happen right away, right? You could get a bounce at your golden pocket and like a sideways range that forms here. You could even come up to backtest that pitchfork again, kind of creating a sideways range in here for a bit. If you go back on the daily time frame and look at your wave 2, you saw a lot of sideways ranges where you range for a bit and then you see a drop, and then you get, the 3-wave move, drop, range down here for a bit. So you're going to see ranges and like chop within it, but you're expecting overall to kind of get sideways and down over the next months. And you will get long, like day trade to scalp trade long positions off of that. All right. I just want to check to see if we have any naked weekly points of control. Wow. Yeah, quite a bit. But look at this. So once again, you want to look at confluence, right? Our next naked weekly point of control is right on that 382. Next naked weekly point of control. And you do have that order block in there as well. Also coming down into this general area, you can see that on that liquidity grab into a naked weekly point of control. At 48. So yeah, really this would be 48 to 46 is the big area of support. But 58, man, 58's a naked monthly as well. So I would really watch that $58 mark. You're probably going to see at least a somewhat aggressive bounce from that $58 area. And this corrective move, by the way, how I said it goes sideways and down, we could continue, you know, maybe doing some sideways stuff in here for a bit and then see a drop down to 58. You might get a nice bounce from 58 to come all the way back up to your golden pocket, pulled from the high to the low before rejecting and coming down here and seeing, you know, kind of a corrective move that lasts months before seeing that big impulse up to make new all-time highs. But 58, knowing that it's your wave 4 target, it's a naked monthly, naked weekly point of control, daily level in there as well. Dang, 58 is looking super juicy. Daily level right here as well. All at 58. Let's just set alerts right now. Super support. Okay, Sui. Yes, we will go through Sui here. Today I caught the top by 10 cents. Too bad it was a long. Oh, dang. Okay, well, I hope you're stopped out of that by now and have proper risk management there. Yeah, I got an alert set, guys, on that golden pocket. I'm going to look at Sui real quick. We'll be quick with Sui. Sui is coming down to your support level, but and we're kind of grinding within the same sort of channel. You can see from the highs grinding down within the channel. We came down to our big support level, being that naked daily point of control, that daily level, and I believe it was the golden pocket, or no, the golden pocket's a little bit lower. It was the golden pocket, I'm sorry, and the golden pocket. So daily golden pocket, naked daily point of control. You saw a nice bounce from there. You tried to break out of your trend. The unfortunate part is after bouncing from this super support here, you did, yes, you did break market structure bullishly by breaking this high here. You broke market structure bullishly, so that's a good sign. That's your first big sign of strength. So now, because we broke market structure bullishly, you might be able to get a higher low here before continuing up. So you might see something like a higher low and then continue breaking this thing up. And this could be all a wave 1, a wave 2, and then you would want to see that wave 3 come in, and then a 4 or 5 to break these highs. And that could be your larger A, B, C corrective move. It is a little bit bearish that we tried to break out of this trend. You saw a fake out, and now you're back inside. And look at what happened when you fell back inside. You fell back inside, you back tested it, and now we're coming down here. So let's see where we're at locally. Let's pull our golden pocket from the lows to the highs here locally. Man, you bounced from your 786 Fibonacci. So that's at least somewhat good that you're holding a higher low. But this 786 at 89.20 kind of has to hold. You do not want to lose that. Now that you've already bounced from it, if you start to lose it again, I would expect to come take out the lows from Wednesday. If you longed this in here, I would still keep it open, and you might have even took some profit once you fell back inside the channel. You might have taken some out. You could have re-added once you started to bounce from the 786. Money flow still looks pretty good overall. I don't like how we weren't seeing any bull divs down here. Look at no bull divs here. No bull divs here. So I don't like that. Right now, though, on the bounce of the 786, you are seeing a hidden bull div print, which is a continuation pattern. So it means that this local trend is likely to continue. If we're about to see a wave 3, if this was a wave 1, this is a wave 2, you want to see this start kicking in soon. You want to see some volume start to kick in soon here. And maybe it's kind of grind here until Bitcoin hits that golden pocket. And if Bitcoin starts to bounce from the golden pocket, that's when you might see your wave 3 kick in. But this is a very strong liquidity trail that once you start to break these highs, you could sweep up very, very quickly to take all those highs out. And that could create that wave 3. Short squeeze, stop out, stop out, stop out, stop out, stop out, stop out. Boom, 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 boom. Creating that short squeeze to the upside. If this daily golden pocket naked daily doesn't hold, if this green support box doesn't hold, I mean, there's not much left, guys, to keep us from really coming down. Yeah, you really want to see that hold. I mean, you can see there's just a big wick in here, and yeah, you could come fill that wick pretty aggressively. Yeah, I would say, okay, you don't have bull divs, but you do have a nice trigger wave. So you can see that higher low into the golden pocket. You have the nice trigger wave here. Money flow overall is starting to come up here. I don't like how it's dumping very, very recently. You got to see this hold, man. You got to see this hold. Yeah, and you did, even on today's price action, you do see some bull divs in today's price action, but you're also, after that, printing some hidden bear divs. So let's see how it plays out. I mean, we're above the midline now. You can see we flipped the midline to support. We need to get back above this VWAP because right now the VWAP is rejecting us. It's acting as resistance. The second you start to get and close like 15-minute candles above the VWAP, you're likely to continue probably to take out those highs. Good long down here, and then you got the higher low support come in here. Okay, let's look real quickly at Bitcoin for a second. Yeah, we're starting to reject from that midline. Let's see if we can't grind our way down. We might be able to get a scalp during the live stream today. S&P 500, let's check that out really quickly. It is dumping. Okay, so what I see here from the S&P, and this is, remember, I say that we chop in and around these bands quite a bit, these pitchfork bands, and especially the bigger pitchfork bands. So you can see really since September of 2025, we've been chopping in and around this pitchfork band. But what happened the last week? We bounced from our support level that I had laid out ahead of time, the SFP of that low, into your 0.5 Fibonacci at the bottom of the pitchfork band. You came up, test the top of the band, 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 test it again. You cannot break that band, and now we're dumping with volume. So I would suggest that you're at least going to fall to backtest this in here. I mean, that it sucks that you couldn't break above that band, and you might now continue to just chop with inside the band. Let's look at very locally. I would be looking at a sideways range here. You could even actually pull it back to here, but this is your more local range, and you're losing the value area low. You can see you're holding the POC as support throughout this week. It was holding as support, but now you're losing it. And that rejection on Thursday, earlier today, was bad. Volume is increasing as we're dumping. So now let's look at our bigger range. Yeah, I mean, POC is coming up at support. Let's see if we have a Fibonacci level there. Let's put on our golden pocket. So golden pocket POC is coming up soon. It's near the bottom of the pitchfork band. I would say 68.50 to 68.42 is a good support because your POC is there. Another thing we could look at, is there a naked daily point of control in there? No, there's not. I don't know why this changed the settings on this. Okay, volume down, volume up. POC. I like to make my POCs red. So I would be looking at a bounce relatively soon on the S&P, or at least you want that to bounce there at that golden pocket and POC. Now, we still didn't quite break market structure bearishly, right? You were making, or bullishly on a higher time frame, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. It is still a lower high from this high. So you could still make a lower low below last week's lows, or below a couple weeks ago, February 5th's lows, last Thursday's lows. But this is an internal support level, and if the S&P comes down here and bounce from here, and Bitcoin's going to bounce from its golden pocket or 786, that could give us a nice move up to kind of see at least breaking of the weekly highs. Money flow doesn't look the best here. Money flow looks like garbage, actually, on the 4 hour. Let's zoom in on the 1 hour and see how that looks. Leaving into the red, turning down again. You are starting to create some bull divs on, well, actually those bull divs are now starting. You do still have bull divs here, potentially on NAMI. And remember, NAMI's quicker, but you can see here higher lows between this low and this low. You could have some bull divs here. So let's see how it reacts once we get to this general area. All right, gold. Let's check out gold here. Dang, man, I can't believe this. I was looking for the short from this area. I want it to come just a little bit higher. Oh, gosh, dang it. All right, guys, gold. The thing is, gold rejected also from the top of the pitchfork band. Yes, we wicked past it a little bit. And you can see what I was looking for on gold, why I was looking for a short in this area, because obviously we had a pretty aggressive dump on gold, an impulsive price action to the downside. And then we got a 3-wave corrective move up to the golden pocket. Rejected from the golden pocket. It's also your 2.618 Fibonacci extinction, and it's the back test of that pitchfork band, right? You reject from the top of the band, you lose the band, you back test that band, that golden pocket area, and now you could come down and make new lows. Gold around 4,100 to 4,200. Man, I'll be looking for longs, but this could be a larger 3-wave corrective move on gold, and this will take time to play out. So you get your dump, you get your 3-wave corrective move up to the golden pocket and a lower high, and now we might be about to dump to make a lower low coming down to your pitchfork midline, because you rejected from the upper band. Well, first off, you rejected from the top of the upper band, and then you bearishly backtested the bottom of the upper band. So now we might drop to the midline. That's pitchfork trading, the major pitchfork levels. But even if we look at our trend-based Fibonacci extinction here, yeah, and coming down to $4,000, guys, like this support zone right in here, juicy, juicy, juicy. Because if obviously this push up here was very impulsive, and even you can see we broke above the midline, back tested the midline, came to the upper band, rejected the upper band, back tested the upper band. And if we do come back down here, it would still be a higher low, but it would be, this would be your 3-wave corrective move before continuing impulsive price action, potentially all the way up to 6,700 to about 7,000, depending on time. So I really would be looking around that $4,000 to $4,100 area for potential swing longs, just like silver at 58 and 47. That 1-to-1 target, if this is an A, B, C, you know, that's what you're looking for. But now, within this smaller move, let me zoom in here onto the 4-hour. Within this dump, impulsive price action down, you get your 3-wave corrective move up here, and then you want to see another impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to start impulsing down here in a 5-wave move. I mean, look at this money flow about to cross into the red on the 4-hour time frame. Bear divs printed here into your golden pocket lower high. Man, this was such a good short level, and I've been looking at this for days. I literally marked this out, this alert out, like last week, I think it was. It hit the 618, but it did not come quite to my 2.618 level. I was looking to actually retest that 2.618. But yeah, this does look pretty nice, guys, as far as your A, B, C. Now we could impulse down in a 5-wave move. We've broken market structure bearishly now by taking out those lows. You took out your lows just now. So if we come back up to the VWAP, you could look for a short. I would even put it above that lower high there, and I would be targeting, like, I would, first of all, I would leave this open all the way down, but I would take some profit for sure at that lower high, or that liquidity level, 46.55. But dang. And let's pull our sideways range of this corrective move. All right, yeah, so you were holding the POC throughout the week. Yesterday, lost it. You haven't quite hit the value area low yet. So you might continue to grind here until you see an SFP of the internal low from yet earlier today. And then you might make a rise up to backtest and then see a big third wave here or something like that. But it's looking pretty decent for a short. You did get a green dot printing last 4-hour candle or last 1-hour candle. I wouldn't put too much on that. Let's go to the 15-minute here. Yeah, you're starting to potentially develop some bull divs. So you can see here, if we grind down, continue to grind down and hit the value area low, you would have lower lows on the price action in here, higher lows and a bunch of higher lows here. You might get the bounce from the value area low to kind of come up a little bit to the gold, wherever your golden pocket's going to be. Let's do this. From those highs down to the value area low. Yeah, and I would be looking to come up around the golden pocket. So if you do get the SFP of today's lows, you could look for a scalp long. And remember, keyword scalp. You're looking to take profit at lower highs. Let's pull this here as well. Yeah, okay. Changes it a little bit, but I like it from the lows. That's your corrective range. So let's set an alert here. If and only if you get the SFP, you could look for an SFP long. Scalp long. All right, Machi HK, welcome in, man. What's up? It's good to see you in here. Samuel S. as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding. This almost looks like some sort of triangle for me. And guys, remember, a triangle is a continuation consolidation pattern, right? This could be some sort of triangle forming in here. Continuation consolidation. But likely to break down. All right. What do you think? Should Sui bottom for the bear market? Man, that's so hard to say right now because it's all going to depend on if Bitcoin can hold that 57, 58K zone. I mean, Sui, gosh, you're at some pretty aggressive lows here. Let's pull this Fibonacci golden pocket. You've broken the golden pocket, so let's add our 786 here. I mean, that 64-cent area, 65-cent area might be an area because you're starting to break your log golden pocket pulled from the lows to the highs. And I would just be worried that this is going to be a wave one here. You got your 3-wave corrective move and a wave 2. All of this could be part of a wave 3. And remember, that wave 3 zone is to come down to 70 cents in a wave 3. And then you could get one more corrective move in a wave 4 before coming down like to 64 cents or even like to, this 57-cent area. That's a weekly level here, that weekly level. And that does look like a pretty important support resistance flip. So 57 cents is when I would really start buying in heavy. Because look at support here, resistance here, support, 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 support. So now it might act as support again. But 70 cents, I would expect to see some sort of bounce from 70 cents. It might bring you, all the way up to back test the pitchfork at $1.14, and then you get a drop to 57. You do have potential bull divs forming too on the weekly. So here's the thing. This is a weekly chart. So you expect this to take some time to play out. So say we drop for a couple more weeks to the 70-cent area. You confirm some bull divs on the weekly time frame. Then you spend about 4, 5, 6 months moving up to 115, 113, something like that. And then you get that last drop in the bear market. You end the bear market maybe September, October, around 57 cents, 64 cents, 57 cents, this general support area. All right, let's go through AVAX real quick here. Man, AVAX has just been so, and guys, sorry for this chart. I know it's disgusting looking. We're breaking the value area low. And remember, I talked about this last week, that it was bad that we lost it, back tested that value area low, made new lows, but we're not even really able to break this important support resistance flip at 950-ish. Wait, why is that there? That's a low time frame support resistance flip. So from here to here, never mind. Either way, AVAX is coming down. I mean, you're coming down to those all-time lows, those prior all-time lows, at least on Coinbase. They're the all-time lows for AVAX. If you're interested in buying AVAX spot, I mean, you're pretty much at all-time lows. It's not the worst idea to start DCAing. Now, do I think the bottom is in? No, we're probably going to drop to like that $7 mark, around $7. But let's see here. How are we looking here? All right, that same kind of descending channel corrective grind that we're seeing with Bitcoin, that we're seeing with Solana. You kind of got this descending channel here. The thing is, this does look a little bit more impulsive. This looks corrective, so you could get that move up at least to kind of maybe take out some local highs in here and start to form a bottoming range. Like this could be your left shoulder. This could be your head, right shoulder, or you could even say, unfortunately, this could be left shoulder. You get that move up, kind of take out these highs, drop even further, come up again, and then kind of create that accumulation at the bottom down here that lasts, until a few months to like a year, a bottom structure here, accumulation down at the bottom, and then you would get hopefully some expansion up. It's too far to tell for that, guys. That's kind of too far into the future. And AVAX has not come down to hit its golden pocket yet. Golden pocket 786. Let me just make sure that that's on non-log scale. And let's see what we have in here as far as naked dailies. Okay. This low that was made yesterday actually front ran the naked daily point of control. You can see it was not hit. It was front run just barely. We bounced from the 0.5 yesterday. Just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin bounced from its 0.5 yesterday. What I would be looking at is a double bottom here locally. If you can SFP yesterday's lows into that naked daily, that might be a decent move at like 842-ish. We'll have to pay attention to that naked weekly point of control at 924. Okay, so if we can get that double bottom here, that would be nice because we did break some local market structure. Kind of. I mean, this high, yeah, you even SFP'd this high right here. You can see you saw an SFP of that high earlier today. So maybe we're creating some sort of flat in here towards the bottom. We're going to see a flat in here to kind of take out now these lows, and then you could get that push up. You do have your 786 right on top of that naked weekly at 924 if the low is in, or if we make a double bottom. Like if we SFP and make a double bottom, I would be looking for a potential long SFP here. So you'd want to wait until it comes down, wicks that out, hits the naked weekly, but closes the candle body at or above this level. Then you could look for a long here. Stop would go below wherever that wick went, and I would probably be targeting that naked weekly in 786 right there. That's a 9-to-1 risk to reward ratio, or depending on how far that wick goes, you know, it's going to change things, but that could be a nice little scalp play on AVAX, a scalp long position. Because your value area high is also up there. So this is actually a really nice resistance area right up here. Value area high, naked weekly, 786. Very nice. You did see some pretty good bull divs that gave you that push up. You can see here, lower lows, higher lows here. It gave you this little push up to see this SFP, but hopefully that's not it. Let's check our 4-hour chart out. No bull divs, but yeah, no bull divs on NAMI yet either. Because like if we're coming down here, you want to see another one, like see, so that would be bull divs within this little drop here if we make another new low, but you need to make a new low. So potentially interested in the SFP of yesterday's low. Guys, give me just a second. I got to answer this text message. Give me just a minute. I'm going to get some water too. So give me 30 seconds. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Still short early since early October. Awesome, HHK. You're in some printing shorts. Not the best time to go counter trend. Yeah, I mean, it is getting, after seeing a 50% drop is when you do start wanting to look for at least some decent like swing relief. But yeah, you want to wait for the trend. Like the best thing to look for is a change in market structure. Okay, wait. The ES is hitting that golden pocket. Wow, the dumpage is pretty harsh right now. Let's see if we get a bounce from this golden pocket area. Man, money flow does not look good here. Let's see if you can't get a bounce here. If not, we're probably going to come down and hit that value area low. Let's get rid of that guy. That value area low is going to be where the 786 is. So if this doesn't hold, then we're going to come down here. Yeah, Walmart's been running like the stock of Walmart. I mean, a lot of people. Yeah, I could see that. It's a nice brick and mortar business. You did say that much, HK. You did say we were coming down to $8. I got to give that to you, man. You know, you called that. And because the thing is, on that October 10th dump, you can see that Coinbase only dumped to $17 on October 10th. Where was that? $17. But Bybit dumped all the way down to $8. And you're like, we're coming back down to fill the Bybit wick. And you were right. You were right. Now let's see, though, if we start to bottom out around here, right? Because we're at all-time lows here. You're at all-time lows. You've taken out the all-time low and the crash low. This is really this. Oh, actually, it's not all-time lows on Bybit. Well, you have a little bit of an order block in here. Has that been taken out? This order block's pretty nice too, because look at that imbalance right afterwards. So, 450 to like around 450. And actually, that's a really nice order block because look at the highs of this range are right around that order block there. So that daily level and daily order block, here's that little order block in here. 450-ish, 458, 450. It's your prior range highs of the very bottoming range right after the listing before you got very impulsive action. So, I mean, that would be really crazy if we came down there, but it could. That would be like the ultimate buying level for me. The thing is, if you start coming down, guys, like usually when you're a decent coin after years is at all-time lows, it's not a bullish thing. You don't want to see, after years and years of healthy price action, you're being at all-time lows or near all-time lows, especially when the rest of the market is near all-time highs. Not crypto, but like the traditional markets. This here, though, 450-ish. Tesla's trying to climb XRP. Yeah, we'll go through XRP here. XRP spent 8 years in the same range, then break out and form a range above the old range just to go back to the old range after a year and a half. Well, pump and dumps, man. That pump that we saw in XRP was during a very important election cycle. And I know that head of XRP was contributing a lot politically. So, you know, maybe a little bit of some shenanigans going on there. Mark Dutch, welcome in, my friend. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Okay, let's see here. What was I just gonna look? XRP, yeah. You get rid of some of this on XRP. So yeah, XRP, remember last week we were looking at that little symmetrical triangle? It broke down like we were expecting it to. It's a continuation consolidation pattern, so it broke down. And then we back tested that triangle, and we back tested, actually, so see, that was the back test of the triangle and the back test of your channel. That channel was pulled from much higher up. That was the channel that formed right after the October 10th dump. So you get your October 10th dump, high, low, lower high. That's where that channel was formed from. You attempted to break out of it. You fell back inside of it. You chopped around at the bottom for a bit in this triangle. You dumped out of it, back tested it bearishly and rejected. So that is not the best sign. I mean, let's see. This POC's at 145. Honestly, like this XRP, you know, we have these two little micro ranges in here, but that's pretty much it until you start getting back down into this junk in here. You did bounce from that POC of your range at 112. That was this internal range in here. Now, I know on the 2-day time frame, it looks like nothing, but there were small ranges in here, small consolidation, which will act as somewhat of a support level. We didn't hit the value area low yet, though. Let's zoom in onto the 4-hour chart. So see these little small consolidations in here? You're starting to lose this little range of support, this little consolidation in here, which isn't the best. Honestly, guys, it was really just bearish that XRP didn't SFP the 161 lows. And now we've really flipped them to resistance, continuing to kind of chop. Hopefully that crash on last Thursday was the lows or near the lows. I mean, you could come down to 90, 91 cents here. That macro golden pocket. It's a logarithmic golden pocket between 91 and like 85, let's say. Smaller time frame, price action. You've got your golden pocket coming up here around 128. What I will say is that it does look a bit corrective. This little bit in here, let me get rid of this. This little bit in here looks a little bit corrective. So you got a nice little push up. If we can correct, you might be able to at least see a 3-wave corrective move in here. And it would be nice to take out these internal highs. It would also back test your prior lows within this upper range. So you had an upper range for a whole year. This big upper range in here for a whole year. And you can see, just like with Bitcoin, when you lose the value area low of the range, you expect to come for the liquidity at the low of the range. Well, now you have that. And is that a fresh daily level? Let's check that. Yeah, you have that fresh daily level up there that has not been tested at those prior lows. So if maybe we're going to see that 3-wave corrective move over the next couple of weeks, it would be nice to get a higher low in here and then get a high to at least test that 161 area, 162 area. And depending on what happens there, if you reject there, I mean, you're going to continue bear market price action. So internally, you know, that golden pocket, the thing is, there's not a lot of confluence, you know, not a lot of confluence for it. Let's see if we have any naked dailies in there. No, nothing in there. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot. Either way, there's not a whole lot going on. You're starting to lose the volume profile of this kind of corrective descending channel. You can see you're flipping that value area low to resistance today. You lost it, back test to back test. You're probably going to at least make new lows below yesterday's lows. And yeah, I like, you see how you have these internal liquidity lows into that golden pocket. So that's like really all you have is low time frame liquidity into your golden pocket at 128. So if you do come down there, you might be able to see at least some sort of bounce from that area. It's not the best looking though, guys. I mean, there's not a whole lot to keep you. Coinbase went to zero? No, went zero. I don't think Coinbase went to zero. The lows on Coinbase are at like 38 cents. But you see here on the weekly time frame, look at this. This is straight up in here. So when you start to fill that, you could come straight down. You could actually come down. And remember that 70-cent area is like the ultimate area down there for support. I know we looked at that last week. And the 63-cent area too. 70-cent, 63-cent area. This is an order block in here. But the best, if you can see this was accumulation in here for years, right? Accumulation, 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 expansion. And then you get your huge expansion, and then you get distribution up here. Distribution, distribution, and now you're starting to distribute. So usually you can hold that higher low golden pocket, 90 to 85 cents. But if you do come down to the 786, that is also going to be where the value area high and POC of your accumulation range is. This would be like a really good level to look for at least a decent bounce. So I would, me personally, not financial advice, start buying heavy around 63 cents, 64 cents. Okay, now guys, remember, I am going to try to do my best to keep you guys updated. I'm not going anywhere. So as this potential bear market develops, as far as the big spot buys and stuff like that, if you guys are interested in finding that, get into the Telegram. You know, the Telegram, not only do I try to give you guys my trades throughout the day, these scalp trades, small trades, swing trades, day trades, all the different kinds of trades I'm interested in getting into. I try to let you guys know ahead of time, but also I will let you guys know when I'm really starting to DCA in on spot on some of these coins here. So if you're interested in joining that Telegram, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link and then deposit the $100 into the exchange. Once you've done that, click the Telegram link and then type in /verify in your user ID, and that'll get you into that Telegram. Okay, Time Attack, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Yes, I will check Chainlink. Let's go into Chainlink right now. So Chainlink, man, you know, I did buy pretty heavy in this spot buy area, but I'm okay with holding it underwater if I need to. I also bought some at $11 and $14 earlier this year. So I am down on my Chainlink overall. Not overall, because I did buy some in here as well. I bought some at like $8 in like 2023. And I did sell some up in this upper range up here. But Chainlink, unfortunately, you can see we have, oop, I'm just going to actually hide that for a second. Chainlink has this upper range that was going for about, what was that? 20, about over 2 years, a little over 2 years here. We had this upper range and we broke it to the downside. You can see we, a couple months ago or a month ago, we were trading between the value area low and the POC, very similar to Solana. And we could have saw maybe accumulation in here and we could have made a move up, but the bearish scenario played out and we ended up distributing down. We dropped down really aggressively out of the range. So that's bad. So usually when you drop out of the range like this, you lose the value area low with volume. You're coming for the liquidity at the bottom of the range. We did that. We've already now taken that. Last Thursday, we took the liquidity of the bottom of the range. Okay. Haven't quite come down to your larger POC. So if you look at the last 4 years of price action, like we have been with Ethereum, your POC is coming up here at $7. So I would still expect that $7 area to be a very nice macro support level, especially because we have the SFP of last Thursday's crash into that POC. So I am interested in starting to look for swing longs. If we make another low, it could be just an SFP of last Thursday's low into that $7 area, 703, 704. And then that would be a potential good swing long. Now, if that POC doesn't hold, I mean, there's not a whole lot, guys. There's really not a whole lot that's going to keep us from coming down to the value area low, which would be around $5.50, $5.52. But look at all the volume that was in here. So a massive spike in volume in this accumulation range. So when you have accumulation like this that lasts years, there's been a lot of big positions that have accumulated in that zone, and that's the fair value of your accumulation range, that $7 mark. So you would expect, because the amount of volume that's coming in here at that fair value, you would expect that some sort of reaction, or, you might wick past it and start to form a range around it, like something like that. But you would expect that that could hold and could be a significant support level for a decent move to the upside. Now, on that move down, you can see we've been looking at a larger double 1-2 impulse, right? We have our chop in here. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you got your big third wave here. We got a 4, and then all of this has to be classified as a 5 because you didn't make any new lows in here. And it could be like Bitcoin where we're seeing an extended fifth wave. But what's really scary here is this could be your 4, and then from here you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. You would look for a 5, but because you had 2 1-2s up here, you need 2 4-5s. So you could get a low, a new low. You could make a rise up. And you could see another, you would want to see even another low coming in, which is kind of scary here. So you would have to see, in some ways, that stoppage down in here, because you had 2 1-2s up here. So now you need some 2 4-5s in here. But you're still in your third wave, it looks like. Because this, excuse me, you're still in your fifth wave here. Within your fifth wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, we would need a 5. And then actually after that, that would end your 5. And then you'd need, another 4 and another 5. So hopefully those last 4 5s are kind of really flat and barely taking out the lows. And it's kind of like almost like a mini accumulation down here. That's what you would want to see. I mean, you do have some liquidity resting underneath here, these kind of lows from here into that POC. That's a fresh daily level in there. And you do have a fresh daily level right underneath it as well. Okay, that weekly's been hit though, so we don't want to put that on there. It looks like that daily was hit as well. Acts absolutely perfectly. Look at your low from the crash last Thursday was directly on that daily that we just marked out. So that's been hit. So you got some local support coming up below us. 703 to 697. And all I can say, Time Attack, is that that is a major volume support around that $7 mark. So you would really want to see that hold. Now, as far as our local price action goes, this was the end of our third wave within our larger fifth wave, right? So we're expecting the 4, and the 4 could give us another leg up locally before seeing a 5, and then you would get your second 4-5 in there. So it does look like we have some time to kind of hang around these bottom area here. Maybe months. Because look at how, if this was your 1 here, 1, and this was a 2, you know, that was almost a month. So your wave 4, you would expect to take at least a month, you know, or so. Oops. That wave 4, you could say, is this going to do something like this for a month or so before your 5th wave? Okay, let me keep going on the chat here. I do got to get going soon, guys, but I will be live streaming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to check Bitcoin really quickly. Let's see if Bitcoin's going to come down to that freaking golden pocket. What are you doing, Bitcoin? We still have, yeah, you're still just chopping around the midline. I don't like how we're trying to find a base before hitting the golden pocket here. I don't like that. Now, yes, you still, if we dump here relatively quickly, that golden pocket is still going to be around the bottom of your descending channel in here. I need to clean this up. So let's see how this plays out. Golden pocket still could be a long position. But like I said, the last couple of days, I do like that 786, that daily, that POC, and it's the bottom of the pitchfork. I do like that level better. How is ETH doing? ETH is trying to hold on to that golden pocket. I just don't like the way so much that money flow looks. Maybe we're going to make another local low in here. One more local low. But you did get the SFP of yesterday's low into your golden pocket. And we did after rejecting up here from the value area low. So let's see. You know, I took 75% out of that scalp position. Actually, I was doing it from up here. So that rejection there, I shorted up around in this area. And then I took 75% out on this SFP. but I'm also looking to enter a hedge long position down in this area. Yeah, and your daily's not for quite a ways. So yeah, I guess your daily is going to be around that 786, just like Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin drops to the 786, then you're probably going to drop on ETH to your 786 in your daily level. But there's no naked dailies in there, unfortunately. But I would say that's your next kind of level of support, internal level of support on ETH. Okay, Coin is doing its quarterly earnings. Hold on, let me see what this says. Yeah, so we're getting a little bit. Let's check Coin out real quick. Yeah, I guess the market's closed, but in post market, it's moving up a little bit. This thing is dumped like crazy too. Now, I think it was, God, where was it? Around in the mid 300s, I took a bunch of profit on Coin, and then it hit a new all-time high, and a lot of people were calling me super stupid. Now, you got to remember, I bought Coin at $50 when the Wells notice came out on Coinbase from, when the government was going after Coinbase. So I bought a lot of Coinbase down here. I took a lot up in, I think it was around 325 or 330. I did it live during a live stream. And a lot of guys gave me a lot of crap for that. I think it was in this area here. But we did come up and make a new all-time high all the way up to 450. And a lot of people were saying, I can't believe you sold here. We're $100 higher. And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, you buy down here, you sell way up here. Well, you're going to get more opportunity. Let's even pull it from here and look at this upper range. Yeah, Coinbase is starting to break that value area low and close below that value area low. I mean, you are at the lows of the range now. So remember, that could see this hold. Why can't I get that? There we go. Maybe we get some good earnings and we can push up from here and get back above. With Coin, you want to get back above 159.70. But if you can and start to close dailies above that, you might see a move all the way back up to, 250-ish. Yes, CPI is going to be released tomorrow. Yep. Tomorrow's a Valentine's Day special. Friday night specials. Wait, Valentine's Saturday, I believe. But yes, Mark, right? Tomorrow's going to be our Valentine's market special. Valentine's special live stream where I'm going to profess my love to you guys. But I genuinely do love you guys, so yeah. Just buy Chainlink instead of Quant so we can be miserable, Mark Dutch. Quant, I haven't even looked at Quant in a while. Let's see here. Quant USD. Is that's a... Wait, is that's a... Yeah. Well, it is near the lows. Man, we got, it would be nice to maybe even come down to take out this load at $50. Let's check out this little range in here. All right, so you're hovering around that POC. You came and grabbed some liquidity from this low and from this low, and then you're back inside the volume profile, and you're trying to hold and flip that POC to support. So you can see, grab the liquidity, get back in the range, get above the POC. If you can hold this here over the next couple of days, you might be able to make a move up. And let's look at the last rejection from the value area high down to that low. Yeah, golden pocket at 88 would be nice because, once again, liquidity grab. You got some key liquidity into that golden pocket there. So, you might even bounce here and at least make a move up to 88. But this was a strong support. Look at this. This was a pretty strong support in here. So let's see if we can flip it now. Again, locally. Flip it to support. Hold on to it. I mean, this kind of looked like a triangle that was forming in here. Like, you get this triangle in here, but it's starting to break down, but maybe it's going to do this, and then we can continue. A fake out, and then we can continue. Yeah, you were in sort of an ascending channel. Actually, I would even pull this to here. Ascending channel, broke down. Let's see if we can hold this POC right now. No cuddling, Divine Hood. Just buy me chocolate. Mark, I'll buy you some chocolate anytime, but I don't know if I can promise no cuddling. Okay, this is what altcoins are used for. Side quest to earn more BTC. I love that, Time Attack. Never missing the 2-to-1 dance specials. You're right there. Coinbase earnings EPS is negative 249. Estimated is 96. Revenue 178 billion. Estimated 183. So it missed a little bit. Okay. Dang. Okay, guys, give me a second. I'm getting a phone call. Actually, I'm gonna call it a stream here. It's my kiddo calling me. I gotta go pick him up. So, thank you guys so much. I'll be live tomorrow. Okay, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please come join me. Please hit the like button on your way out, and I will see you.